Typical, able to clear it out, gets demoed. First killer, light touch to the side. Chicago jumping over first killer. The 50, atomic, light bounce on the goal line. JNaps will tuck it in. And my, oh my, the aggression from G2 and JNaps in Chicago. Can it be stopped?
Yeah, I don't know. That was actually a great touch by first killer to keep that one. The momentum going out of the net, still hitting that post is very tough to do. And to get that one away and not just instantly put it into your own net was about as good as he was going to get there. And still G2 was all over them, or were all over them, as FaZe find themselves in the hole early.
Chicago racing to the ball, launching it towards net. JNaps pre-flipping to the ball, getting the redirect.
He did it with the side of his car too. This wasn't even the perfect touch. It was just off the side of his car.
JNaps helping out, doesn't get the double tap, but it leaks out for Atomic. Atomic staying in the play, trying to slow down FaZe.
Yeah, everyone backed off from G2. Final minute upon us. FaZe
great
need to find their first here in game one, and it could come. AJ, does he have it? He does pass the Atomic on the near post, and FaZe have life.
And it was an impressive touch from Chicago, but then here you see the mix-up. Atomic in reverse. JNaps streaking across. I think if JNaps
dunked downfield, I suppose, but still some time left here for FaZe. That's a great shot. It comes out the typical tough angle, puts it on target, tied up with 17 seconds to play.
In FaZe, the pressure was mounting. You could see it shot after shot. 2 go. Chicago with the block, but typical getting around the ball, and FaZe certainly feel like they earned that one.
And great work from FaZe, keeping the pressure on, making G2 think about their defense.
Getting a first touch, it pinches off the ceiling. Chicago booms it downfield. Atomic low boost. AJ against JNaps, it hits off the ceiling. Chicago's got to buy time. Doesn't do so, but Atomic gets back. The rebound of first killer, and FaZe Clan finally get a game win in the grand finals.
What a battle here in the first match. We were talking up G2 so much, and FaZe with the comeback. They were down by 2, 3 straight. Had to take them to overtime as well. Need between the last game and the last series. FaZe have led for exactly 4% of this entire series. This set 1 minute, 1 minute and 18 seconds out of the 31 minutes we've played.
And the lead will go right to G2. You saw the panic, Corelli. Typical jumping up early. AJ, see ya.
Oh my. And that's a painful one for FaZe because everyone had a decent. That one seems like a botched play there from AJ. Had some time. I don't think he realized how much time he had. He kind of rushed the touch there in the midfield. But there was a chance there, as you were pointing out, James, a 2v1, but I think G2 also got back pretty quickly there, but at best it was going to be a 2v2.
I mean, if AJ brings that right to net, Chicago, he's not going to hesitate. He goes for that upper corner. As we take another look, first killer, you know he wanted to bounce that up. Not that AJ gets a piece. Back to first killer. Infield pass. Typical shot, not on target. Another great pass from FaZe that just doesn't
AJ
find
has
the
no
shot.
boost.
JNaps threatening. Chicago didn't make contact. And FaZe get away without conceding another goal. But now finally putting it in. Typical. The solo play, unassisted from end to end. FaZe needed that to get back into it.
Great touches here from Typical, knowing that he could keep possession, pocket it down, but it's landed in the lap of first killer. Still dangerous. Chicago, they just have to get it to the ground, and FaZe are fighting for every inch, but G2 finally come out on top.
Wow. That last play, that play from AJ.
And he's had a lot of those shots where he's just so close to the net that it's an easy block for G2, and that's where a lot of the shot tally kind of goes up for FaZe as Chicago wants to push it through off the back wall. Atomic got a little bit of boost here, but not enough to make a big play. First killer had him right all the way.
2 dive from FaZe. Atomic camped out in front of net.
He's there.
Atomic will put it in. 2 defenders from FaZe go yet again, Corelli. The double commits have been brutal for FaZe. I wouldn't be surprised if Atomic has spent more time on FaZe's backboard than FaZe has spent being in the lead.
I wouldn't either, honestly. with the way this series has gone, especially with G2 in the lead, but Typical quickly shuts me up and ties it up for FaZe.
And what a spike. And there's the passing play attempt. It's broken up, but a strong bounce off the sidewall sets up a chance for Typical, and he nailed that shot.
And those, but it'll be cleared out by G2.
A heroic effort from Typical, and Typical beating out another defender, late flip. Making things awkward, rebound, it's an infield pass, it's just out of reach of first killer, but Typical taking over, now off the ceiling, has AJ in front of net, the drop down pass, AJ puts it in, and FaZe Clan are on top.
The offense coming alive for FaZe. This is what we've been talking about. The setups have been just so good from FaZe. They're finally converting the pass.
Get that ball. Atomic. You saw him wanting to go for that double tap, but AJ right on the backboard waiting for it.
Yeah, FaZe did a good job to lock down the backboard. No boost here for AJ. Still trying to look as threatening as possible. Typical comes through. That one's going to sneak by. Where was the G2 defense?
This is a classic miscommunication. Even from this point on, you see JNaps leaving that ball thinking someone's going to go. Chicago thinking JNaps had it. JNaps thinking Chicago wasn't able to shoot it, but it didn't really matter. G2, the defensive miscommunication, but I think more the story is that FaZe Clan is finally starting to make their passing plays work.
Absolutely. You have to give the credit to FaZe here because the offense was done from FaZe, staying disciplined and guarding that backboard, which have been criticized before, or which has been criticized before, I should say, as Typical now just got one to beat. Great touch to AJ. Tough shot, though. That one's going in off the touch of the last man from G2, and AJ's going to get credit.
And, you know, FaZe, they came close. AJ, he'll still get credit for it.
Oh,
it was going to be posting out. First killer was barreling in. JNaps
was going
had to
in.
Go for it. He had to go for it.
Yeah,
it would have required the perfect. But Atomic!
No way.
Squishy shit. He squishy saves it.
That is incredible from Atomic, but really just par for the course for him, as he's made so many of those saves going in and out. My goodness, G2 able to turn away a second one from FaZe, and this one, an awkward one for G2 to get a hold of. The shot on target. This time Atomic can't make the save. Typical doubles up.
Oh, there's the double commit. This time out of G2. Throws him out at
finals around, and they have looked just the stronger team now here in this series and in this game in particular. Here Chicago, as JNaps gets in the way on the bump. It was turned away in the end. The FaZe Clan defense trying to get a hold of this ball and get out as they do so, and G2 racing back now.
And it's in. It's just in from first killer. Typical banging that out, and first killer sailing it. G2 knew they had to score. Commit, and G2 shut out. FaZe buttoning up that defense and finding their rhythm on offense as first killer puts in the fourth for FaZe. Only 11 seconds left. This one is in the bag for FaZe Clan.
Boy, oh boy, FaZe looking dominant here in game 4. A 4-0 victory pending this 11 seconds. And for G2, surely going to need a second to think pending this 11 seconds. And for G2, surely going to need a second to think about this one, as the script has been flipped. It's changed. G2, they thought they were cruising to a win, but it's FaZe.
But FaZe has been so aggressive. It's been working out for him. And there's the shot, and that was open. Oh, the rebound doesn't find the net either. And FaZe, this is kind of like what we saw before. FaZe having looks. G2 escaping barely with their life and then scoring on the counter.
The outside of the net, escaping FaZe, and quickly on the counter, as you mentioned, James, Chicago there to get the dunk.
But gets demoed. Space now for G2. JNaps looking for the backboard. Atomic, first touch, getting behind it. Late flick, pass to JNaps, and that shot will go wide. But JNaps, he's hustling, and the shot comes out from Chicago. The play was kept alive by that hustle from JNaps.
And look at this ball pop out. Look how much time and space G2 have to run on top of this one. Chicago came for the midfield line behind it and just kind of like moseyed on up, prevents the shot from going through.
How close was that? All I saw was smoke, but it looked like first killer might have been in a position to take that shot. Atomic perhaps saving it at the last moment, but
Wow.
ultimately it doesn't matter. First Killer comes back into the game and gets the goal.
And we've been talking about FaZe and their shooting, and it has gone up between these two series as First Killer knocks that one down. Series 1, FaZe were shooting.
In the first series, it didn't look competitive at all, really, with how well G2 was playing. But Series 2 has been a different game, except
That one's open.
for this one. Game 5, all in favor of G2, a wide open net. And it's the same thing that we've been seeing a lot in this series. Atomic gets the outlet pass, shoots long range, and finds its way.
Yeah, I was going to say, guess who on the outlet pass? It's always Atomic. He's the first man out of the play defensively, and a lot of times will leave G2 in a 2v3 situation, trusting his teammates to win the challenge and push it to him downfield. And it's paid off so much for G2, not even just in this series or the previous one, but in all of their series that they've played here in North America. That outlet pass has paid off. Now Chicago with the bump. JNaps comes through with the shot, and it's a 4-1 scoreline for G2.
That was a savage bump. AJ was helpless. AJ thinks, oh, I'll just tip this off to the side. Chicago, maybe one for the road. No. FaZe have 3 defenders there at the near post to make sure that that doesn't go in. First Killer trying to keep the ball. Will FaZe Clan be able to put together some of these passing plays like we've seen them do before? FaZe a chance to win it all here and now on Neo Tokyo.
Uh-oh. Oh, yep. I can feel that one coming, James. Yeah, I said uh-oh for a reason.
Oh, JNaps, the double tap. It's just so pretty. It's just so pretty. The way he gracefully flies through the air. A masterful shot. JNaps, that was gorgeous.
I mean, that's one of those, you see a setup like that, really for almost any pro player, but for a player like JNaps in particular, it's what in the world is that pass from JNaps to Chicago? Trying to sing his praises for the shot, but look at the pass now. Perfectly on the Chicago head, and then flicks it on.
92! It's like synchronized swimmers there for a moment, but both missing the ball. G2, despite that double commit and the miss, FaZe wasn't in position to punish. First Killer will go for the backboard and
got it.
Typical will dunk it down and in the net. Typical has been scoring a lot this series, and it's good for FaZe that he's getting involved now.
Tough read there from Typical. Used all of his boost. As soon as he got to that ball, he was out of boost. It had to be perfect, and a great shot from him and follow.
First Killer
again. I mean, with G2, especially in this game, the shots they've been able to put away. This one's dangerous. Typical's late. The one there from G2 to punish.
Infield pass attempt, but now the passing from G2. Atomic will take this shot. Who's taking the shot? That's what's running through FaZe's head. JNaps to Chicago. You see him hitting it right back towards JNaps.
And I was watching that one from the FaZe defender's POV, and payback there from Atomic. Chicago was removed, and so Atomic will make sure that FaZe are also down a player.
Tit for tat.
And it certainly worked out there. Slowed down FaZe tremendously. Just past halftime. FaZe, plenty of time left on the clock to make something happen here. First Killer making everyone dance, and it's a great pass again, and Typical strikes the shooting through the roof for him now as FaZe are clicking.
Oh, you love the creativity from First Killer, faking the flick.
So many chances this FaZe team does, and here comes one to Typical. Having a breakthrough moment here for FaZe in this series when they need him most. Dangerous ball as AJ's trying to get the block. Not going to happen. Great flick on from G2. Chicago uncontested, places it to the left side. G2 up by 2 once again.
And these little skip touches from G2 at the midfield have been brutal for FaZe to deal with. First Killer on empty. All he could do.
Typical with no boost, pass back to AJ, over to First Killer, but that one's wide as well. It's not going to drop for FaZe. It was perfectly set up, and then they're scored on the counter by G2.
And First Killer, after that ball goes in, he just dropped his controller. No inputs, no nothing. First Killer had the shot. That passing setup from FaZe. It was perfect. Another great setup. It was a perfect. First killer had the shot. That passing setup from FaZe, it was perfect. Another great setup. It was a perfect setup.
Two of them were perfect. They had two great looks, and now they're going to get one back. AJ with 36 seconds left. Down by 2 for FaZe, finally getting one to drop. But a great pass from Typical.
Is it too little too late, though, Corelli?
I think there's just barely enough time, James. If they can get a quick one here, there
ends up getting back into game 6.
Yep.
But that play there, again, it was the shooting. It has improved for FaZe, but they needed that one there.
Game 7 will go, James, and the records between these two teams again.
It pops up for Chicago. Infield pass to Atomic. Atomic off the ceiling. AJ, first touch, catches it into an air dribble. JNAP's kicking it in reverse, and it does find its way over to Chicago with full boost. Chicago with the mid boost as well. The block, the dunk, it rolls the distance.
Wow.
Typical cutting off the play, and that was an unexpected first goal of Game 7.
Boy, he just went straight into that.
Gets that ball up to JNAPS, but gets beat to the ball there. Atomic with plenty of time to think about this touch, and it gets away. And
what a pass.
First killer denied by JNAPS. Rebound is
there
good.
It is.
FaZe's passing proves to be too much, but AJ a critical rebound cleanup.
And that was just a great save from JNAPS initially, but the follow-up was there for FaZe. And a dangerous shot put on by AJ is exactly what they needed. If the first shot doesn't go through, fine. But when FaZe starts stacking them up, you've got to break through. And it was crucial for AJ to put that one away.
AJ. That goal, massive. FaZe now find themselves ahead by 2. JNAPS tries to cut the lead down to 1, and he does so. G2 back in it.
Great finesse here from JNAPS. First killer, he was just so late going for it, and he didn't have a ton of boost.
First killer streaking back and will get the save.
What a shot from Atomic. That's one that will catch out a defense every once in a while. First killer, too good to let that one in. As a clear comes out from FaZe, Atomic trying to keep it awkward. Chicago called upon, blinded by the demo. AJ can't get a read, and Atomic to put it home.
Throw the smoke grenade right there. Atomic, he throws at AJ. He can't see anything. And then the ball flies through the smoke into the back of the net. G2
comes out from G2. AJ, his opportunity is cut out by Atomic, but AJ looking for 2. AJ's done it. FaZe coming out on top in Game 7.
FaZe bring it back full circle. They won the first regional of the year, and they've won the last regional as well. Here at the Nissan Classic, it's proved to be an instant classic, as you said, Corelli.